think I'll get real close to you and pop on you then. How's that?
Go back to whatever Asian country you belong.
It's good I have a 6-year term. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to impose, I'm going to...
You say me? Did you say that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you did say that? I find you in direct criminal contempt. 30 days in the county jail.
They come in all sizes and shapes, but Karens always show up when you least expect it, getting angry at the most trivial things and definitely causing a scene. However, this time round, the following Karens weren't as lucky, finding themselves in court for various charges. Deborah Hunter
Do you really need this? What do you want to do? Post it for you?
woke up one morning ready to make her own rules and defy any existing ones. And good luck to anyone who stood in the way. In this particular case,
How about that?
Hunter, also known as Coughing Karen, believed she was exempt from the mask mandate. And mind you, this was in June 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Coughing Karen became enraged when Heather Sprague, another customer, insisted she put on her mask. But Deborah didn't just stop with the unsolicited cough. She went the whole way and said,
I think I'll get real close to you and pop on you then. How's that?
Now, Deborah's actions were already crazy. That wasn't the worst part about it. The person she coughed at was a cancer patient who already had enough health complications. Heather added in her court statement that she was afraid for her life.
I was stunned in the moment and increasingly fearful in the aftermath.
And the lives of her children. To her, it was a threat to her life. The following year, Deborah Hunter was charged with misdemeanor assault. On an interesting note, Hunter was supposed to have people speak on her character, and on the day of court, no one was available. Apparently, they weren't picking up her calls. Surprising? Not at all. I think they were really smart for that. The judge made his ruling, sentencing Hunter to 30 days in jail, a $500 fine, and 6 months of probation. She was also required to do a mental health evaluation and a 1-year anger management program. On top of that, she was to pay for Sprague's COVID-19 test. Her reaction to the sentence was simply leaving the virtual Zoom call.
If I may have a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
When asked when she would wish to start her term. As her lawyer turned to discuss it with her, Deborah simply walked off screen, probably too stunned to speak. Interesting turn of events. Welcome to the Chula Vista Superior Court. Judge Patricia Garcia
She is, for the reasons I've stated,
is presiding over the trial of Darla Jackson, a 25-year-old who, in a fit of rage, chased down and ran over a U.S. sailor. He was declared dead at the hospital after suffering serious injuries. In court, Darla Jackson was charged with the first-degree killing the 39-year-old Navy Chief Officer Zachary Bua. During her arraignment in court, Darla Jackson was seen with her head dropped and crying. She cried and shook throughout the entire proceeding. She expressed her sincere regret for all that had transpired, saying that it ended badly for everyone. The mother of one was riding a Nissan Altima when she was involved in the altercation with Zach Buab, who was on a motorcycle. Darla started chasing Buab after he made a hand gesture and kicked the side of her car, finally hitting him from behind at high speed. Although she said she didn't plan to hurt him and was just trying to get his plate number, other witnesses think there was more going on. Stephen Klein, her defense lawyer, pleaded otherwise. He said,
Sorry, she's very scared, she's very upset, she's very traumatized.
As first responders tried to save Zach's life, a number of cars pulled over alongside the freeway to evaluate the damage and offer assistance to the injured man. Witnesses attested that Darla had been pursuing the victim, who was riding ahead on a motorcycle before she hit him. The eyewitness statements were verified by this video footage captured on a passenger's cell phone minutes before the collision. Darla was in hot pursuit of the motorcycle before crashing into it from behind. Going at 80 miles per hour, she was only a few feet behind Buab when she hit him, pushing him almost 300 feet until he eventually fell. A witness at the scene of the incident was questioned and gave his testimony in court. This is what he had to say.
How would you describe the behavior of the Ultima in your perception?
Pretty aggressive.
And was that from the beginning to the end or just at certain points?
Yeah, from the beginning to the end.
Meanwhile, a throng of motorcycle riders were present outside the courtroom as they protested the incident and called for justice to be served for Zach Buab. Family of Zach Buab also spoke passionately about their lost loved one, sharing their pain and asking for maximum sentence.
And he's gone. And I miss him.
It all could have been avoided, they said.
She had every opportunity to change her mind and not chase my brother across 2 freeways.
Pretty hard to understand why someone would get that angry. We still can't get our head around it, Your Honor.
As the judge handed Darla Jackson her sentence, she erupted in tears. She sobbed loudly, shaking and bending over. She was sentenced to 6 years in a women's correctional facility. Jackson also apologized to the Buobs, calling her actions that day a mistake.
I know a lot of awful things were said about me that made a lot of you believe that I did this on purpose. I'm not that.
The judge said that there was not enough evidence to prove that the crime was intentional, but believed Jackson still deserved to spend some time in prison for her actions.
Not kill him, just stab him, and you get 9 years in prison. But you run over a member of the military on a motorcycle, and you get 6 years. Justice to me was not served.
Did the family feel that justice was served? Not really. Next on our line is Penelope Soto, an 18-year-old who obviously considers herself a comedian. Did the judge find her sense of humor endearing? Let's find out. Penelope was taken into custody for possession of Xanax bars, a prohibited substance that can lead to agitation, hostility, and hyperactivity. She had no previous criminal record and would only be charged with 1 crime.
Ms. Soto, you working?
Yes.
How much money are you making a week, approximately?
Approximately about $200 a week.
Okay, and do you own any property of value? A house, a car, bank account, significant amounts of jewelry?
Yes.
What do you own?
I own a lot of jewelry, all right, as well as
Go ahead.
a car.
Thus, if she could just behave herself, she was probably going to get away with it easy. But nope, Penelope let her Karen nature overcome her. Once the prosecutor started grilling her, things really started to go south. At this point, she began to make unnecessary jokes and mess with the court process.
Well, how much would you say your jewelry is worth? It's not a joke, you know. We are not in a club now.
Okay, but it's
We are not in a club. Be serious about it.
I'm serious about it.
You're being very. I can see you're serious, all right.
You just made me laugh. I apologize.
Here you can see the judge starting to get a bit annoyed. Good question, since up to this point, nothing she said made any sense.
How much is your jewelry worth?
It's worth a lot of money.
Like what?
Like Rick Ross.
Huh?
It's worth
Ma'am,
money.
have you had any kind of drugs in the last 24 hours?
Actually, no.
Actually, no.
Behavior in court was clearly annoying the judge now. She was handling the case as if it were unimportant, even though she was possibly facing a far worse sentence. The judge then declined to give her a court-appointed attorney, and he had a good reason to do so. He went ahead to sentence her.
No, I'm going to appoint you because you own a lot of substantial amounts of jewelry. You can go and sell your jewelry for a private attorney. What is the standard bond?
Penelope seemed unmoved and unfazed by this outcome. She was actually smiling as she walked away, but not for long.
Count 1 will be 5,000 per hour cost found. Count 2 will be ROR.
Oh no.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Come back, ma'am. Come back. Come back. Give me the paper again. Count 1 will be 10,000.
She was gagged. She walked away again, but obviously, as Karen, she did not know when to stop. Thus, this happened next.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Adios.
Penelope Soto was back in court after a mere 4 days. She was sorry this time around and barely flaunted her teeth. She apologized to Judge Chomat for her initial rudeness.
Come back again. Come back again. Bring her back again. I believe I heard you saying to... I believe you... Did you say... Did you say that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you did say that? I find you in direct criminal contempt. 30 days in...
The judge accepted her apology and vacated her sentence. However, she was required to finish a rehabilitation program to cure her addictions.
My behavior was very irrational, and I apologize not only to the court and you, but to my family.
This has to be the most Karen of Karens. Let me introduce you to Lena Hernandez, the woman whose video showing her racially harassing Asian people in Torrance Park, California, went viral online.
Back to whatever Asian country you belong in.
In the video, an Asian woman is seen working out in Torrance Park. Hernandez approaches her, racially abuses her, and tells her to go back to whatever ancient Asian country she comes from. She even abuses the woman's clothes. In a different video, Hernandez was captured on camera making anti-Asian remarks to a man in the same park. The poor guy was only parking his car, but Lena felt that he was too close to her. It's kind of breathtaking how vile she can be. You'd think that racial statements are offensive enough, but this Karen went one step further by verbally abusing an Asian American customer in a mall. The victim informed the police about the incident, but they did nothing. The spotlight on her was raised by Torrance Park case, and shortly after, she was linked to the case in Del Almo Mall. Her outfit from the mall was the same one she was wearing in the park. The woman Lena attacked in the mall was standing up for a restroom cleaner Lena had started abusing. She instantly recognized Lena's nightmarish voice when she heard it on the news. Casey Lene Salmoneo, the victim, said this. Salmoneo described in court how Hernandez pushed a mall janitor to the ground while verbally abusing her.
Voice you don't forget. That's a face you don't forget, especially what she had done to me. Crazy lady points down at me and says, "You better not get the F up or else." And then I get up, of course, and then that's when she physically grabs my hair and pushes me down and starts punching the back of my head.
When she attempted to step in, Hernandez struck her multiple times, gripped her hair, and pushed her head to the ground. She said that the attack had left her terrified to go to the mall and to even be in the neighborhood, and that the trauma of the attack was still affecting her. Salmoneo's case made it to the court after she detailed her ordeal at the hands of the same woman on Twitter. As a result of the attention that the anti-Asian comments garnered, the attorney's office in Torrance City filed a criminal charge of battery against Hernandez. She was given a sentence of 47 days in county jail and 3 years of probation after entering a plea of not guilty to misdemeanor battery. She also had to complete a year of anger management classes. She was also told to stay at least 100 yards away from Salmoneo and the Del Almo Mall. Salmoneo wasn't certain that this would be sufficient, though.